We need another nameplate for Sheehan and another one for Jonathan. You've got one?
Yes, I
And if we could look some space for Sheehan. Just hold on to that for the time being. Right. Good morning, everyone. Now, before we begin, I thought I would introduce Karen, who is going to be the new Marie, at least for a period of time. So when we are doing them today, just remind yourselves to cover your names, just so it'll be easy for everybody. All right, let's begin with the cover, please. Good morning, and first item on the agenda is apologies. I can't imagine we have any, so we seem to have unanimous donkey here. Craig, I do beg your pardon, we do have an apology. I move that Craig's apology be accepted. Do I have a seconder? Tom, to second. And Nick, say hi to everybody.
Welcome everyone, thanks for having us back. Yeah, I'm a dry stock farmer out east, just 10 minutes east of here, so really good to get involved, and I'll be a bit of a learning curve for a start. Hopefully it'll be useful for the committee. Thank you very much.
I'm sure you will be, and welcome. So the next item on the agenda are from February 2026. Are there any corrections? If there are no corrections, can I have someone move them as a true and correct record? Alan moves, Mike seconds. All in favour?
Aye.
And we go now to the consent monitoring annual reports. Victoria.
Kia ora everybody, through you Chair, I've got for you 30 tailored compliance monitoring reports today. These are our final 30 of the year, which is a massive accolade for the team to have completed them so speedily. Within that, we have a mixture of industries: meat processing, closed landfills, industrial catchments, byproducts factories, HEP schemes, to name but a few, including our composting facility in Uriti. Of the 30 reports, we've actually got 40 environmental performance ratings assigned as high, and 16 were assigned as good, 5 required an improvement, and we had 1 related as poor. A little highlight from the reports is it's my last meeting for a few months. We actually had the highest amount of ALVA in the trap and transfer or the HEP scheme at Partia, the highest in like a decade. So it's a real coup. They got sort of 600 moved up this year, 600,000, sorry. So yeah, it's massive. So I thought it was a little highlight. It was a little highlight for me anyway. Exactly. So any questions on the report? So it's a lot of information, and I'll do my best to answer them.
First thing I wondered about is the success of that campaign publicising fires. Can we not do a similar one about diverting waterways?
Well, we did have poster boy Ryan on that, didn't we?
So Madam Chair, we're exploring all those options given the success of that program.
Because it just seems like that is a more effective way to talk to the population of Taranaki than writing them letters or any of those sorts of things.
Or you also, as you know, you get to see how many people saw it.
Yes.
And who they were, but not in detail, but what segments of society they were.
And it seemed to me to have been effective because, unless my memory is wrong, my sense was that the numbers of problem fires over this summer is less than it was the previous summer. So that must logically, I mean, the point of difference has been Ryan's campaign.
Yeah.
So again, we'd like to do that with farm dairy effluent and address those matters. So.
Well, I shall look forward to developments with interest. Has anyone got any questions for Victoria? If not, can I have someone,
Oh, apologies, I'm trying to put my hand up. Can you hear me?
I can. So
Oh,
future, Ali, just use the icon, the little handy thing. But that's fine, you go for your life.
I found it.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't have yes, also through the chair, just to congratulate the team on that wonderful trap and transfer success. Through some of these reportings, I just had the same question as to whether or not hapu and iwi were involved, particularly around that mahi with taonga species, such as the trap and transfer. So any feedback on that would be useful. Also with respect to when the abatement notices come up, such as the one that's discussed at para 74. Just two questions for clarification through the chair. I'm just curious, how is the Norman B. Dam resource consent still in effect if the company has been dissolved and it's still breaching consent conditions? I didn't quite understand how that aspect. And then
Pause there.
Yeah, that's
And give Victoria a chance to answer those.
oh, kapai.
yeah, sure. Through you, Chair, we do involve iwi that trap and transfer. There's not a lot of consistency in who comes or not, but yeah, that is an opportunity there. When it comes to the Normanby scheme, I think if you've read the report, we've had quite a lot of enforcement issue at that scheme historically. A lot of the work required through the reconsenting phase of that has been done, but it is still incomplete for the fish passage itself. I understand that the site has now been sold, so it is now in ownership of someone else. I don't know, Fred and the team may know more about that than I do. So these people have taken on the enforcement order requirements. They know, they did a due diligence. We were involved very much with the people who are interested in purchasing that site, so they've taken on knowing the legacy. While it's not been operating, we just simply paused the monitoring programme, so obviously it hasn't been operating, so we haven't actually been out there. We pop out there every now and then, but yeah, so that's where we are. Is there anything you want to add on that, Fred?
So we hopefully will get a final solution to fish passage on that major structure in the Wainonara catchment.
Yeah, because it's a barrier to everything but the best climbers, obviously.
Ellie, anything else?
Yeah, that would be brilliant to replicate your success at Patia. Yes. Finally, just to ask a clarification, when you were talking about Taranaki byproducts, in paragraph 250, the in-stream nitrates levels were recorded as within range, but then the actual input nitrates were very high. And I just wondered how, in that context, Taranaki byproducts was not held accountable. Well, it seems to me it's more concern what the actual point of discharge readings are. So any further information on that would be helpful. And also just to note for beach energy, kapuni is also Ngāti tū hapu, not just manuhia. Yes, but Taranaki byproducts.
I'm looking at a slightly differently numbered agenda, so I'm a little bit unclear on the 250 paragraph. But is it possible that I can follow that up with you after the meeting?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you.
So if there's nothing more for Victoria, Mike.
Page 23 on conflicted, Chair. Write it down.
Right, noted. Anything else? Anyone for any more? If not, can I have someone move that we receive the compliance monitoring reports and note the recommendations therein? John, and can I have a seconder? Lee. All in favour? And moving now to resource consents under delegated authority. Leah. Good morning.
Morena koutou. Kia ora. Okay, so the number of applications we currently have in process is 222, with 161 replacement applications. As of this February in this financial year, we've issued 193 consents, which demonstrates we're still progressing through the backlog consents. On that point, we're up to around 13 bundles of notified consents. So we're now working through the most tricky, most complex of all of the applications that have been sitting on the backlog. And obviously working through pre-hearings and trying to get things resolved. So there's been some good progress on that. Non-notified authorisations issued by the council between 12th of January and 24th of Feb was 11 discharge permits, 3 land use consents, 3 water permits, and 1 limited notified application for MPDC to use the weir in the Wangara stream for contingency water supply purposes. Happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Leah?
Yes, through the chair. I've noticed on a lot of the resource consents that cover Te Kahui or Taranaki that there's often reference, I'm trying to find an example, you'll have to bear with me, where there's reference to discussions but not what those discussions have involved. Is there a reason for that?
Previously we were asked to report in council related discussions, whereas if there's pre-application discussions between the applicant and iwi or hapu, those are often held behind the scenes. Sometimes there's agreements made, but they don't want them publicly available. So they'll provide something saying there has been an assessment, there has been discussion, there has been consultation, but then we focus on what we have done because that's what we can control.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just for my own understanding, you definitely, like council will definitely make it clear in their papers what discussions were had with Taranaki iwi?
What discussions we've had,
Yeah,
absolutely.
what agreements
We
were-
try to
feedback
always
in
put all
relation
of our
to this.
feedback in if they've made a comment specifically to us. We're trying to canvass what they held sometimes before the consent application was lodged is something that's often done between the applicant and iwi, so we don't put it into these agendas. Often we don't have full visibility of that as well, but we might get something say, yeah, we've been involved or we've had consultation. So that's just a record of where there has been consultation, not what the consultation is.
Okay. Right.
And that's based on what the applicant has told us, so if that's inaccurate, yeah.
Anyone for any more? If not, can I have someone move that we receive the schedule of resource consents? Tom? And Nick, let's have a crack with you being the seconder.
Yeah, I'm second that.
Right. All in favour?
Aye.
Moving now to incidents and compliance monitoring. Jared.
Kia ora, good morning. Jared Glasgow, Compliance Manager. All right, incidents and compliance monitoring non-compliances, period of 9th of January to the 26th of February. We had 79 incidents over that time. 27 of those were considered non-compliant. 46 of those were found to be compliant, and 6 updates from previous agendas. Compliance monitoring non-compliances, it's tapering down at this time of year. 6 new ones during this period and 9 updates. So across that with this agenda, if we look at enforcement, there's been 22 letters sent out requesting explanations for poor performance. There's been 29 abatement notices requiring corrective action, and there's been 11 infringement notices, which are detailed throughout the report. Obviously, you'll see the increase in fines coming through for those. Further to that, you will note there is a number of significant, what I consider significant non-compliances for dairy. So if I look at dairy effluent discharge non-compliances, we've got 2 green streams in here that were unsourced. So likely a source of effluent, but we couldn't determine that. We had 3 dairy effluent discharges that were deemed to be non-compliant, and we had 9 that were deemed to be significant non-compliance. Significant non-compliance and non-compliance are applied at a national level, so discharges to water and breaches of abatement notice and things like that are considered significant non-compliance, and other non-compliances are of a lesser degree of seriousness. So there has been a slight increase at the moment of significant non-compliances. However, I did some quick stats this morning, and if I look at just dairy for non-compliances, overall non-compliances, we're sitting at 3.3% of our inspections against a 6-year average of 5.6%. Non-compliant, we're sitting at 2.2% against a 6-year average of 4%. And significant non-compliance was sitting at 1.1% over a 6-year average of 1.6%. So the non-compliances are down throughout the year, but I do acknowledge that there's a little bit of a spike there. So again, we've got the dairy effluent lead, James Cookson, we're going to run some comms at the end of the season around setting up, getting them through winter and setting up for spring again next year. So that's the dairy we're at. The other point of interest in here is you might see there's 2 incidents of dumped tyres in the Tapawai stream, which is really disappointing and probably reflects the intelligence of the person's doing it. Can I get away with that, Fred?
That would seem to be an accurate statement.
Yeah.
So it's always acceptable.
So there was one on the 17th of February roundabout there where the officers went out and over about 2 kilometres of stream picked up 51 tyres. We didn't know they'd been dumped, so we knew about them was when they landed in the Tapawai Marine Reserve. And one of the officers was out after work picking up walking his dog, so he found them all. So we picked up 51 tyres at the end. He tracked them all and couldn't see any above Plymouth Road Bridge. And then unfortunately on the 11th of Feb, he was just doing another check to make sure the area was clean and found what turned out to be 149 tyres thrown off the bridge. So someone had parked in the middle of a 1-lane bridge and just lobbed them off both sides, which was really frustrating. There was a storm event coming the next day, so we managed to luckily pull them all out that morning, the next morning. Now the unfortunate thing with that is there's a tyre-wise program that allows people to dispose of 5 tyres a day for free. They only have to take them to the transfer stations at any of across the region, and they can dispose of them for free, absolutely no cost. So there's no financial gain to these individuals to dispose of the tyres in that manner. They're
I think
free.
that another Ryan video would be good on dumping tyres.
Yeah, what Charles did, we did put some comms up for that specifically about that incident with a bunch of photos, and that worked. Charles probably got 34,000 views on social media about that incident, 8,500 views through a post on the New Plymouth community page, 1,800 views on the coastal community page, and 558 interactions across the pages. And we did get some feedback, and there are some trees that we're shaking at the moment.
Cool.
It's pretty damn disgusting, actually. 51 tyres. I mean, it's either going to be a commercial operator. I mean, the average person would have 51 tyres lying around, or a farmer that's for a silage pit, he wants to get rid of them. I don't know, but this has got to stop. Surely, did you interview any farmers around the area, or just check out? Because even the commercial operators, they'll dob someone in if they you know. We've
talked to a few of the tyre shops in town.
Yep.
We've been up and down the road and spoken to a lot of people up and down the road, and I would at an estimate 90%, 95% of those tyres are burnt out. So the focus is on boy racers rather than people that are using them or trying to dispose of them in a commercial sense. They're all burnt out, the wires are sticking out of them, some of them are completely in half, and it's just the tyre walls. So I'm pretty confident after spending 2 hours in my waste in the water that it's linked to boy racer activities, and we just have to shake those trees and see what falls out of them.
Anyone else got a question for Jared? If not, can I have someone move that Jared's report is received and noted? Benita to move, Mike to second, all in favour? And moving now to the prosecution sentencing decision.
And one of our emerging actors.
Yes, well,
Podcast
are they
actors.
giving you a pay increase? Like,
It'll-
you
that'll
get your own
be-
makeup artist?
It'll
No.
be considered.
It's been recorded, yeah? Nice. Yeah, kia ora tātou. Ryan Honeyville is my name. So I work with Jared. I'm one of the team leaders in the compliance team. So I'm here today to present a memorandum just providing an update on 3 of our recent prosecutions that have concluded. 2 of our prosecutions related to discharges of farm dairy effluent, and another prosecution related to discharge of offensive odour beyond the boundary. They're all unrelated to each other. So just do, I guess, a quick summary of them and the outcomes. So prosecution against Mr. James Langton. So this resulted from a complaint on the 9th of October 2023, where council officers inspected Mr. Langton's dairy farm and found that significant volumes of farm dairy effluent had been discharged via open irrigation hose across the farm, which was resulting in likely contamination of groundwater, and it was discharged in circumstances where it may have reached surface water as well. So as after assessment against the council's enforcement policy, charges were laid, and on 19 December 2025, Mr. Langton was sentenced, having previously pled guilty to 2 charges in the New Plymouth District Court. And in that case, the courts adopted a starting point of $70,000 for the fine. Linsky Farms Limited. This was a result of just routine compliance monitoring. We discovered on the 28th of November 2024. Council officers noted, again, a significant volume of farm dairy effluent had been discharged in one location, and this was a result of an irrigator being left in one spot for an extended period. And again, it was in circumstances where it's likely the groundwater was contaminated. So Linsky Farms Limited pled guilty and was sentenced in the New Plymouth District Court under 1 charge, and that was on the 12th of December 2025. And the courts adopted a starting point of $75,000 for that one. While separate, these 2 dairy prosecutions had some similarity in their causes or circumstances. So some such as a limited ability to be able to store effluent, minimal investment in infrastructure, a lax or lackadaisical attitude towards the non-compliances, so like a lack of urgency to fix known issues, and also minimal environmental mitigation taken after the fact, knowing what's going on there. So these and other learnings we will be sharing with local dairy industry groups to pass that on. And as Jared mentioned, that's through like James's end of year updates and other meetings that he's involved in. Our other prosecution that's concluded is against Remediation New Zealand Limited, which is a composting facility up in the Uriti Valley. They were charged for discharging offensive and objectionable odour beyond their boundary on 6 occasions, and that was between March and June 2024. So RNZ Limited, they pled guilty to 1 representative charge in the New Plymouth District Court, and the written decision was released on 16 February 2026, and the courts adopted a starting point of $95,000 for that case. With RNZ Limited, the discharges arose from poor management and systems relating to the production of their compost. The odour discharges occurred over a 5-month period, so they were extended, and it's noted by the courts that those experiencing the odour would have been revolted and distressed. And it was also noted that exposure to odour can be pervasive and life-altering, which it was for these people who experienced it. And likewise with the other cases, we'll be reaching out and sharing lessons learned with industry groups. So I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has on those cases.
Mike?
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. There's a typographical on James Langton 25, which got James Langton was fined a total of $35 $17,500 per charge, should be $35,000.
Yeah, 35,000.
And also, I just looked at number 20. Boy, I wouldn't like to be farming a $300,000 fine going from 10 million to 1 million respectively. It's pretty heavy.
That indicates the importance with
That's
which
right.
these matters are to be regarded, and hopefully signals to those in the industry that they need to take these issues seriously and avoid this kind of thing.
Yeah, just a question like, how many of these farms actually are monitoring, have systems in place so they know when an irrigator stops? Like, is it sort of typically they've got none of that tech?
Yeah, these particular ones didn't have those ticked. We're finding it's more and more common with the new consents and new upgrades. People have that contingency to have that, to notify or for the pump to stop once it happens. But the difference with these ones is that I think even with that, their attitude towards it, they would have done it anyway.
More blatant.
Yeah, just really blatant. Yeah.
And through you, Madam Chair, it's really important to note we're dealing with a minority of the dairy industry here. 94-5% of the dairy farms are compliant and are to be congratulated. You'll also note that the behaviour of Mr Langton, as recorded in the decision, was far from favourable. It was very aggressive, and he puts our compliance staff are at risk when they go out and deal with people like that. Thankfully, he's chosen not to be dairy farming in the future, which I think is a good outcome.
So have these fines all been paid?
So that's
I can tell that the Linsky Farms Limited one has. With Mr Langton, it was an agreement over a period due to issues raised at court around financial hardship over a period. I think it's over a period of about 5 years or so to be paid off. And Remediation New Zealand Limited, we haven't heard anything back from that one yet.
The agreement to pay it off over 5 years, I'm imagining that also includes a quicker end point, in as much as if he were to sell the farm, then there'd be an expectation that it would be cleaned up at that point.
No.
Seriously? Do you
So-
think that might be a useful thing to include? Because certainly I for myself, I think that there's real value in 12-month reviews of people's circumstances because they change.
but he doesn't own the farm.
Oh, he doesn't, he's sheep milking, I beg your pardon.
And through you, Madam Chair, we're getting more and more cases where the registrar in the court will decide how circumstances around people who've been found guilty and how they're paid off. And the sector, the regional council sector, has gone to that group at Wellington and noted our concern about that, because some of them end up getting written off, which is not the whole idea of why you take enforcement action in the first place.
Just a point of clarification, is it up to the TRC to follow the bad debts, or is it up to the court to actually chase the bad debts?
The court collects the
Do
debt,
they?
but the money is then on-paid to the TRC.
Thank you.
But the registrar in the court has quite a bit of,
Because if we had to go to Mr Langton, I don't think I'd like to knock on his door because he's a New Zealand champion boxer.
Right, and when you've talked about publicity, am I understanding that we're going to see some sound bites that obviously Charles and yourself have had great success in spreading the message?
Yes, we're lining up our dairy lead, James Cookson. He's got lots of experience in the industry and been there for a long time. He's got a good rapport locally to post some videos. Yeah.
Because again, getting the message out effectively will be ultimately the best interests of the environment, won't it?
Yeah.
so Madam Chair, the staff are initially reluctant to go before the camera, but they learn that they have very good skills and are prepared to come back.
Well, I imagine it's hiring the makeup artist. That's probably
Some
the
people
right
work
shoes,
and others.
and the right shoes.
and the right shoes, yes, that always makes a difference, doesn't it? Right, does anybody else have any? Benita?
I was just looking for it, but I seem to remember reading it was just chance that staff picked this up on a regular visit, monitoring visit.
Yes,
These are two cases?
That was for the Linsky Farms Limited.
Oh, okay.
That was routine, and James Langton was a complaint from
A
them.
complaint, okay. congratulations to the staff for their vigilance and carrying on with these scheduled visits and things like this. Obviously, it's paying dividends, and hopefully continues to do so in the future. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else for anything more? If not, can I have someone move that the prosecution sentencing paper be received and noted? Benita to move. Jonathan, would you second?
Sure, yes.
All in favour?
Aye.
Is there any other general business that we need to consider? If not, then the meeting is at an end. Thank you.
Just slide there.